Yo, what's up, guys? Dragon Ball Dave back with another Dragon Ball Daima episode review. Just want to give my thoughts on it. This is about Dragon Ball Daima episode 15, entitled, I forgot what it was even called, The Third Eye, I'm sorry. Third Eye, which released January 24th, 2025. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh yeah, first want to start off by saying this episode definitely kind of disappointed me, I guess. We did have a very long fight. We finally had an episode or a fight that lasted a full episode. The whole episode is pretty much a fight for the main crew. I really thought they were going to pick stuff up in this episode, man. I was kind of trying to be positive for Daima, but I really was hoping they were going to pick stuff up. If we only have 20 episodes left, I was really hoping the Majin Ku and Majin Du fight, when that comes up, because I'm sure that's got to happen, was going to, give us at least 3 episodes just fighting them and not counting the big baddie. But it didn't. Like I said, kind of a little bit of a disappointment with that. But this still wasn't. I still don't think this was the worst episode. It's just that these past 3 episodes in a row like this have been very lackluster and kind of like, what's going on here, man? But other than that, the episode was actually still, as far as the animation goes, there was a couple of lore drops, and there's lots of talking points in here, so I'm going to talk a whole bunch. But I was kind of disappointed with the way the episode kind of played out, and I don't want to downplay it too much. It's just like I felt like Goku and Vegeta are fighting base form fodder too much. But the episode opens up right where it left off, where the military police are executing a full-on attack, and Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Glorio, Shin, Pansy, and Bulma and Hybus are just kind of flying around, dodging. Goku and Vegeta fight back. Goku and Vegeta get hurt by the phasers. That's kind of like, what the heck, crappy. But, because they beat the Tamagamis. Now, don't get me wrong, Goku and Vegeta are in base form, but they should just be able to power up to Super Saiyan and, be done with it. Goku's like, they're using guns, that's cheating. And that's kind of, it's neat, but it's also really dumb. I didn't really care for it too much, but the animation looked good at least. Like I said, Goku and Vegeta both actually end up getting shot with a little blast from the gun, and it does do damage to them. They end up having to use the revive bugs, and I don't remember exactly if Goku uses it or not, but Vegeta for sure used the revive bug to get back up to power. And it's interesting because later on, Neva's going to comment that, no matter how tough you are, if you get hit in the vitals, you're cooked no matter what, even if you have regeneration. And so that's interesting. So those demon guns are pretty powerful. Now, I do still think that Goku should be able to power up to Super Saiyan and, be done with it, but he doesn't. And Goku actually did not take a revive bug. He just kind of shook it off. And Glorio tells him those things can't, one shot can incapacitate you. So that was, that was interesting, I guess. But it was also because it's interesting that these military police have that so powerful of guns. But it's also, I can't stand when I see Goku and Vegeta taken out with a gun. The only time it was ever cool was when Maris did it in the manga for Dragon Ball Super in chapter 42 or 43. I think it's 42. But other than that, that was kind of, and the whole fight is pretty much this. Goku and Vegeta just kind of staying in base form, blasting around some ships, but there's tons of military police. And so I did kind of find that cool because there's, there's a full-scale invasion in a sense. That's how Goku, Vegeta, and company all looked coming from the Demon World last episode. It's like they're, invading the Demon Realm. The first Demon World. And so, that's neat, and I'm kind of glad they at least made it look cool with that. But I was so disappointed that they're just fighting in base the whole time, man. It bums me out so bad. It's hard to even talk about. But it then pans to Goma and Degasu, and they're watching, and they're like, oh yeah, we're whipping ass. Even these guys can't stand a full on onslaught like that. And he's analyzing through the little screens they have all the people that are with Goku's company, and he notices when he looks at Hybus that he's got the third eye on his belt. Now, this is really interesting here because the third eye is the legendary Tertian Oculus, but Degasu doesn't even recognize it like that. He even says impossible. There's no way. And this is, really kind of cool because Degasu definitely wasn't here. He's not near as knowledgeable about stuff as Goma. And so when Goma sees that, he tells Degasu, like, that is the third eye, and I need you to retrieve that no matter what. Go get it. And this is where we're going to see some funny stuff from Degasu a little bit. I do think that he's kind of got something up his sleeve. And I've said that since, like, episode 1 or 2. And I did kind of backtrack on that later and say that, I do think he's loyal, so to speak, to Goma. But I think there's a bigger little pot stew in there. Maybe him and Arinsu are actually in cahoots in some way. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But, it then pans back again to the Z crew and they're, fighting or whatever. They've pretty much smoked all the military police, but there's plenty more. Now, last week I mentioned the two guys from the first Demon World that had, like, belts. And I said they kind of look like Deborah. Well, there's more of them, and they send, like I said, the entire military. It's like a scene from an army movie or something, where they just send all these people. But I don't know. It then goes back to Degasu and Goma, and Goma flat out says that he's seen the third eye a long time ago when King Abura, Dabura's father, had it on his forehead. Supreme Demon King Daimo. Abura Daimo, I mean. And he says it looks just like what's on Hybus's belt. But he's sure that that's what it is. Degasu's a little bit like, I don't know, man. But, like I said, he does send Degasu to go get the belt. He says, go get it and bring it to me. And, that's going to be a little fun thing that pops up here in a minute we're going to talk about. But, because Degasu's like, how am I supposed to do it? He's like, I don't know. Just go get it. You're smart, aren't you? Figure it out. And it's kind of like funny that he says all that. But, Degasu goes to do it or whatever. And he actually disguises himself as a girl to do it. Or I think he does anyways. He could have maybe hired the girl. It's really hard to say. But before it goes to that, we have a weird thing that Dragon Ball never does. Okay, Dragon Ball never does this. They actually have the evil third eye. There's like a narrator comes in the middle of the episode and explains stuff. It reminded me almost of like Yu Yu Hakusho or like Hunter x Hunter, where like just the narrator comes in and starts explaining some off the wall stuff that nobody expected it to explain just in the midst of it. It's not like through Goma or Degasu's storytelling that it gets explained, but it explains the evil third eye, the Tertian Oculus, and it says that Demon Kings had it for a long time, and we had 3 Demon King silhouettes that we can vaguely make out. They're pretty cool looking, I guess. One of them kind of reminded me of Finn from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Another one vaguely looked like Demigra to me at first from Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but I don't know if that's accurate no more. And there's another one that looks like he reminds me of a creature from something, but I can't put my finger on it. And, hopefully, Geekdom will release a video later today and he'll, let us all know what it was from, and it was from whatever series. But it goes into this backstory of the Tertian Oculus here, and it tells us that basically Deborah paid somebody to steal the third eye. He gave him the key because Abura was away but had it locked in a safe instead of keeping it on his forehead, because that's usually where the Supreme Demon Kings would wear it. But the guy that stole it, like I said, was hired by Deborah. Well, he gets killed by the guy that the big ogre he runs away to the third demon world with it, and Deborah says he'll contact him later. Now, when he gets there, he gets killed by the guy, the big third demon world guy. He was a ruffian. He was the one who Goku senses him around the corner. Shen and Glorio did not, and he goes ahead and Goku knocks him out in one punch. But he actually kills this little insect guy or whatever that Deborah hired. Well, then the third eye gets lost because of that. It just rolls off a cliff. And then Hybis picks it up just like he said he did originally when he found it walking. And so it is just like I kind of said, like Master Roshi, finding the Dragon Ball, he came across this awesome item, but he had no idea what he had in his possession. And, that's neat to say the least, but it's also, it proves that now I was totally wrong about Hybis, guys. Hybis is not a big bad. And if he is, I'll be duped because now I don't think he's a big bad at all. I think it was just to be funny. His little sarcastic stuff to Vegeta is just nothing more than that. But like I said, that ruffian guy is the one who kills the thief, and the eye gets lost there. But Deborah's not worried about it for some reason, which is really weird. Deborah's like, either way, the eye is not going to be a problem. And so that makes me wonder if not anybody can use the eye. Like it takes a special kind of demon. Now we don't know that, of course. I have no idea. But it was just weird that he would abandon that. But it then says that basically Deborah overthrew his father. And so, that's an interesting thing too. He overthrew his father. It's like, whoa, okay. Traitor. But yeah, he fell to his son Deborah without the third eye. But, of course, Deborah got killed by Majin Buu. And so, to me, this just showed that Deborah was an idiot. Dabura, whatever you want to call him. And it says that after he died to Majin Buu, that Vice Supreme Demon King Goma becomes the new Demon King. So he was actually a VP, which is funny. Or at least I find it amusing. But like I said, this was something that Dragon Ball doesn't usually do these flashback explanations like this. Not in this way like this, where the narrator's telling us about it. But they did here, and if there was going to be 40 more episodes and they did this, that'd be kind of cool. But not so much on just 20. I thought it was kind of a waste. They could have had a character explain that. We didn't need to see everything just like that. But I guess the narrator did explain it because nobody truly knew what happened to it. But the audience knows now. But anyways, as we pan back and forth to the main crew, like I said, we did get a full episode fight, even though it's not really a full episode fight, where they're, doing battle the whole time against the military police. Goku asked Neba, since you made the shield, like, hey, is there anything you can do? And he's like, you got to figure it out yourself. I'm just here to help with your wish. And then, like I mentioned before, also, it's either Degasu disguised as a girl, or he paid this girl or hired her or, commanded her, what it was, something, to go get the belt from Hybis. Well, she goes and gets it, and she tries to, do the standard, like, hey, I'll give you a kiss if you, give me the belt. And he says, what does he say? He says, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't want a kiss, but I'll trade you for a goofy hat she has. And so, that's interesting, because he liked Kid Bulma, but not like adult looking, or closer to adult looking Degasu, maybe? Maybe he knew Degasu was a boy. I don't know. Hey, maybe Hybis is up to something still. But he happily trades the belt. So the girl's all like, oh, that was easy. And, that's kind of interesting, I guess. Piccolo never tells Piccolo, because Piccolo's like, man, I'm just going to take all these guys out. They're all pathetic. I can regenerate. It don't matter if they blast me. And Neva's like, nah, it won't work. You're going to get cooked if you do try that. Then pans briefly to Dr. Arinsu with Majin Ku and Majin Du, and they're just sitting there sleeping, while Arinsu's just watching nothing but the Dragon Ball, saying everything's going to plan. It's almost time. So if she's aware that the first demon world is in war right now, which she probably is, because we haven't seen Glorio do anything. Like, Glorio's been kind of like out of the main vision of this whole episode. And that's kind of interesting because I know he's in communication with Arinsu, and I was really thinking Glorio was going to have to make his move to, I don't think he's going to be a bad guy anymore. He does look like Mira, but I think he's going to turn good again, or he's going to always be good, but he's going to be working with the bad guy. But I do think he needs to be revealed to be a traitor, at least now, so that he can be forgiven, have a couple episodes to make it up. But you know, he we don't know yet. So then something actually awesome in the episode happens. This was probably one of the coolest parts of the episode, including with the flashback with the lore. A bunch of tanks come in from the military police, and everybody looks like they're cooked. Like they're all kind of worried. Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta even look like they're worried about it. And then out of nowhere, man, through the tunnel in the demon world, comes King Kadon with his forces from Demon World 3. And they come down and they start blasting the tanks, and one of the taking them out and stuff. And it was actually pretty awesome. And we even actually get a scene where their plane gets blown up. And I said last week, I hope they don't kill off King Kadon, man, because I think he might be awesome. They blow his plane up, and I'm like, oh no, he definitely did just get killed. But he didn't get killed. Him and his whole crew were fine, landed, and then went right to war. Got right in the battle and are smoking military police left and right. And I thought it was actually awesome. It was like the Hood coming to fight the cops. I got a kick out of it. That was definitely my highlight of the episode, was King Kadon and his posse. They came in as like superheroes in a sense and kind of saved the day. Just like I said, they dropped bombs on the tanks, blew the tanks up, and then just came in fighting. Now, I do think something funny is going to happen with that still, because they have those collars on, all of them from Demon World 3 still. So they're going to get fried by Goma or by Arinsu or by somebody. And like I said, I hope they don't kill off King Kadon, but I feel like the way they just made him seem, they're probably going to end up killing him off. I don't know. Hopefully not. And, it's also interesting, too. We never actually found out who the king of the second Demon World was. Near as we can tell, the Gigas and the Megas, they don't care about that. Krakens are just animals, essentially. And, I guess you could say the Namekians or the Glens could be considered the higher ups in that world, but even then, none of them are proclaimed to be a king. I guess Neva could be as close as it gets, making that Demon World tunnel. But, I nonetheless, I'm getting off from what I'm talking about here. King Kadon was actually pretty awesome with his little, intro popping up, saving the day. The ship blew up. They were worried, and then he's a beast. And like, there's a couple of scenes where him and Pansy fight like back to back. Like she sits up on his shoulder, and I got 2 daughters, so I mean, it's like, yeah, kick ass, take names. But that was pretty much the highlight of the episode for me, was Kadon's troops coming in and being cool, Well, as the fight gets going on a little bit more with Kadon's forces there, they kind of turn the tide on the military police. And then out of nowhere, Goku decides to go Super Saiyan and just starts smoking them all. And it's like, oh man, why didn't you do that from the start, Goku? They have a brief little, rest again. And we pan over to Goma, who's watching. And he's like, oh no, what are we going to do now? This is impossible. And then Degasu returns, and he's looking at Goma funny. He's got a funny look on his face. And I'm not sure what his agenda is, but he definitely has a funny look on his face. And he reminds Goma that they still have, the Ginyu Force knockoff military police. So, and Goma kind of looks like, oh yeah, you're right. So that is coming up soon, I don't know what these guys are going to be other than Piccolo fodder. And, I don't even know if we're going to see Tamagami 1. Because Glorio hasn't betrayed us yet, I guess. He hasn't shown us his betrayal. He pretty much just hid and shot a couple of bad guys in that whole little battle. But I don't know if we're even going to see Tamagami 1, because I know we're going to Tamagami 1 still. But when they find out that the Dragon Ball's not there, they might not even go there. I don't know. It's a little funny, I guess. But the episode ends, just kind of like, oh, they defeated the enemies. We got a breather. But then the military police are coming. The special forces ones. Now, the next episode is called Degasu, and it shows Degasu holding a gun to Dende's head. So that also is, like I said, we're going to see Degasu come alive and do all his little dastardly deeds or whatever he does now. So that'll be, interesting to look forward to. Like I said, I was kind of disappointed with this episode. Really wanted a little bit more. like I said, there were still a lot of talking points here, but also a lot of like, come on, man, forget that. They could have went Goku and Vegeta could have went Super Saiyan from the beginning, saved a revive bug by not wasting it, and blew up half of the military police. Then they'd have had to have a fresh Kadan and everybody to tangle with the Ginyu Force knockoffs. Now, I do hope actually if the Ginyu Force guys get beat up, that it's going to be Majin Ku and Majin Buu are going to be like, oh, those guys were awesome and they were nice to us. And so that's going to motivate them to want to fight, even aside from, just listening to Dr. Arinsu. Because they pretty much seemingly have to listen to Dr. Arinsu for the most part. Majin Buu seems like he could probably break free, and Ku's smart enough he could probably go out on his own. But it seems like they're still like children, kind of loyal. That's Mama, But that's my thoughts on the episode. I'm still enjoying Daima. I'm disappointed that we've had 3 lackluster episodes. And then the week before that was also a skipped week, like a hiatus for the show for 1 week. And so we've had 4 weeks of just like, come on, Daima, give us something. And especially towards the end, I'm hoping it's going to get a lot more crunch time serious. I really do believe next week they got to give us something good. But we'll see what happens, You have any thoughts on it? Just let me know down in the comments, and let's talk about it.